Hello and welcome to Nana's Crafty Home. My name is Tanya. Today's tutorial is going to show you how to complete the Seashells by the Seashore market bag that you can find. I have a link provided below in the description. If you would like to click that, it will take you to those free written pattern instructions. For this bag, I did use the Yarnspirations Caron Cotton Cakes. You can see I have two different sizes of cakes here. This is how they used to come in this smaller ball of yarn, which they were 3.5 ounces and about 211 yards. And they no longer make it in this size ball. Now, when you purchase these, you get this much larger cake, which is 8.8 ounces. 530 yards, so it's more than twice the size of one of these cakes here. So the bag utilizes approximately 422 yards, really all of two of the smaller cakes if that's what you have on hand. You would have a little bit left over if you used a bigger cake. For me, I would go ahead and just make a couple more rows in the bag or on the strap to use up the rest of that yarn, but you wouldn't have to do so. If you were to make it to the rows that I have specified with the gauge, it's approximately 14 inches tall, lying flat without measuring the handles, and about 15 inches wide. It is work. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to make a note before we do that the chain 3 at the beginning of each round is going to count as a stitch. I'm going to make a magic circle. And chain 3. And then I'm going to work an additional 11 double crochets into that magic circle. So I'll end up with a total of 12 stitches for this first round, since that chain 3 at the beginning will count as my first stitch. So go ahead and work 11 additional double crochets into that magic circle for round 1. So once we've worked those double crochets and we have a stitch count of 12 total for that first round, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that circle and slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3 to complete round 1. Round 2 is a chain 3, and I'm working a standard circle, and basically what that means is that when you are working a double crochet standard circle, you're going to increase by the number of double crochets from your first round. So for every round, I'm going to increase by 12 stitches. In order to do that, you're going to work your increases evenly around each round. And for round 2, that means a stitch count of 2 for every stitch. So I'm going to work a double crochet in that same stitch, and then I'm going to work 2 double crochets in every stitch around. That will give me an ending stitch count of 24. So with round 2 complete, I have a stitch count of 24. I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, and that is round 2. Round 3, again, is going to be a chain 3. I'm going to double crochet in that same stitch, and this is where we're going to evenly spread out our increases to increase each round by 12. So for this round, I'm going to double crochet in that same stitch, work a double crochet in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next. I'm going to work that same stitch pattern around, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around, and that will give me an extra 12 stitches for this round. So you're going to continue on working the same stitch pattern through round 10. So for round 4, you're going to chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, double crochet 1 in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochets in the next, and repeat that around. Round 5 would be 2 double crochets, then a single double crochet in the next 3. So you're going to repeat that. You're basically doing a basic double crochet circle around for 10 rounds, and you're going to end with 120 stitches, because again, we're increasing by 12 stitches for each round of our circle. And we're doing that so our circle will lie flat. If we weren't doing enough increases, it would start to make a bowl. If we were doing too many increases, your circle would start to ruffle because you would have too many stitches in there. So you really just want to increase by the number that you started out with, and you want to space those evenly around your round. So continue on with that same stitch pattern and that technique through round 10, ending with 120 stitches. Now that we've finished round 10, we have 120 stitches. We're going to slip stitch to that first stitch, the chain 3, and we're finished with the bottom of our bag. So we're done increasing. We're going to begin that first round of the side of the bag, and that's going to be worked with a chain 3. And now I'm going to work in the back loops only of each of my stitches. I'm not going to be increasing. I'm going to be working a double crochet in every stitch, but working in the back loops only. And if you're unfamiliar with working in the back loops, instead of going through both loops as we typically would, we're just going to insert our hook into that back loop and work our double crochet as we normally would. So again, this whole round is a double crochet worked in the back loops only without any increases. So we're going to end up again with 120 stitch count at the end of round 11. Finished with round 11, slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, still with 120 stitch count, and we're ready to begin our first round of repeat for the side of the bag. And that's going to start with a chain 1. We're going to single crochet in the top of that same stitch. So in the top of that chain 3, I'm going to work a single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to have a total of 3 single crochets at the beginning here. And now I'm going to work a chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to skip the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And in the next stitch, I'm going to work a double crochet. And I have this chain 3 space here. Now this is where I'm going to work a puff stitch, and that puff stitch is going to be worked over that double crochet that I just made. And a puff stitch is worked as a yarn over, insert your hook into that space around that double crochet post, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to do that same thing 6 more times. So a total of 7 times, yarning over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 2. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 4. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 5. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 6. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 7 times that we've done that. Now I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull my hook through all the loops on my hook. So that is my first puff stitch made. Now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to work a single crochet in the next and in the next 4, so a total of 5 single crochets worked. I'm going to chain 3, skip 3 stitches, double crochet in the next, work a puff stitch over that double crochet post as we just did. So again, yarning over, inserting our hook inside that chain 3 space around that double crochet post, yarning over and pulling up a loop 7 times. There's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, and there's 7. And then yarning over, pulling through all the loops on your hook, and then chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. Skip 3, single crochet in the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 3 again. So we're just repeating that same stitch pattern of chaining 3, skipping 3, double crochet in the next stitch, and work a puff over that double crochet post. Now if you've never worked a puff stitch before, where you're doing several yarns over and holding your loops on your hook, one trick that I will give you, one thing that I do myself, is I will hold those loops in place on my shaft of my hook with my thumb. So as I'm putting my hook in, you can see here I'm yarning over and I'm holding that with my thumb. So, because if I don't hold it, it's hard to insert your hook. It makes it nicer if you can keep that kind of stationary down here at the bottom of the shaft of your hook rather than letting it slide all the way up to the top of your hook. So when you yarn over, hold on to that loop with your thumb. And you'll continue doing that as you pull up loops. You'll adjust your thumb to the next yarn over that you just made and hold that, and then yarn over and again hold that and insert your hook and pull up a loop, and then hold that, yarn over, hold it with your thumb, insert your hook, pull up a loop. And that keeps your loops down at the bottom of the shaft of your crochet hook, which allows you to manipulate your hook into that space without dropping any of your loops. So just a little trick for you if you've never worked a puff stitch before. And I'm going to start this one over because I lost track of where I'm at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook, and then chain 3. So continue that same stitch pattern around. Basically, you're going to be working a chain 3, skip 3, double crochet in the next stitch, and then work a puff around that double crochet post, chain 3, skip 3, single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and so on and so forth. So you're going to work around all the way around that same stitch pattern until you get to the last 2 stitches, and you're going to work a single crochet in those last 2 stitches with a slip stitch to your first stitch. So just continue that stitch pattern around, skipping 3, single crochet in the next 5. We're at the end of round 12. I've worked my last puff, chained 3, skip 3, single crochet in the last 2 stitches. slip stitch to the top of the first stitch from that round, and we're ready to move on to round 13. Chain 1, and this round is going to be simply a round of single crochet. We're going to work a single crochet in each stitch, so these first 3 single crochets, and then we're going to work 3 single crochets in each of these chain 3 spaces as I go around. I'm going to work a single crochet in the top of that double crochet post that we worked our puff stitch around. And then again, I'm at my chain 3, work a single crochet, 3 single crochets in that chain 3 space, and then a single crochet in each of these 5. So just work all the way around, working a single crochet in each stitch, 3 single crochets in each chain 3 space around, and slip stitch to the first stitch made. Okay, so when we finish that round and worked a single crochet all the way around, I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch, and I'm going to start on round 14. This is the next round of puff stitches, and these puff stitches will be offset, staggered a little bit from the ones that we worked in that previous round. They won't be exactly in line with each other, so it changes this round just a little bit. So we're going to start with a chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to double crochet in that same stitch. So on the top of that first single crochet stitch from that previous round, I'm going to work a double crochet. Now I'm going to work a puff stitch over top of that double crochet that I just made. I'm not going to be working over that chain 3. I'm going to be inserting my hook into that space in between my double crochet post and the chain 3. So in this space here, I'm going to be working my first puff stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, yarning over and pulling through all the loops, chaining 3. And so really I'm just adjusting where I begin those puff stitches in this round, but the repeats in the round are the same. So once I've completed that puff stitch, I chain 3, I skip 3, and I work a single crochet in that next stitch and a single crochet in the next 4. So a total of 5 single crochet stitches. There's 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3, skip 3, double crochet in the next. Work a puff stitch over top of that double crochet post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, yarning over, and then chaining 3. Skip 3, single crochet in the next 5. So just repeat that around. And you see here what ends up happening is you have your puff stitches are staggered away from each other. Gives a little bit more visual interest to the stitches. And you're just going to continue on after those 5 single crochets, chain 3, skip 3, double crochet in the next. Continue that around. So I'm at the end of round 14. I've worked those 5 single crochet stitches, chain 3, skip the last 3 stitches, work a slip stitch in the top of that chain 3 from the beginning of the round, and I'm ready to start round 15. And again, round 15 is going to simply be another round of single crochet. So to start out, I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch, and that next stitch is actually the double crochet post from the previous round that I worked the puff stitch around. So single crochet in that next stitch, work 3 single crochets in that chain 3 space, a single crochet in each of these 5 stitches. And so that's all you need to do throughout this round is work a single crochet in each stitch, 3 single crochets in a chain 3 space, and just continue that around. You'll slip stitch to that first stitch, and we've just worked the last of our repeats. So for the rest of the sides of our bag, we're going to be repeating rounds 12 through 15. So I'm going to go back to round 12, which is the round that we started off with our first puff stitch row, and then work a single crochet row, another puff stitch round, another round of single crochets, and continue repeating that stitch pattern till you get to round 37. Since I have a little bit more yardage in this cake that I chose to work with for the video, I'm probably gonna work a couple more rounds of my repeats before I move on to working the strap. But that is, of course, entirely up to you. Once you work through the rounds of repeats that you would desire, the bag is the height that you want, I'll come back and show you how to finish your bag with your straps. So once you've completed the sides of your bag to the size that you would like before you start working on the straps, we're going to end on a single crochet round. And it doesn't matter whether that is a round 13 or if that's a round 15. Both are single crochet rounds, and you can make your bag to the size that you would like as long as your last round before you start working on the strap section is a single crochet round. So once you've gotten to that point, we're just going to chain 1, and we're going to work a second round of single crochet stitches. So we're just going to go around our bag working another round of single crochets. After working that extra round of single crochets, we're going to slip stitch to that first stitch, and we're ready to start working on our straps. So we're going to start with the chain 1. I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch, and I'm going to then single crochet in the next 19. So I will have a total of 20 single crochets. So that's 3, 4, 5, 19, and 20. So I have a total of 20 single crochets. And now I'm going to chain 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 39, and 40. After I've done that chain, I want to skip 20 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I'm going to work a single crochet in that next stitch. And I'm going to single crochet in the next 39. So it's a total of 40 single crochets. So there's 3, 4, 5, 39, and 40. Now I'm going to again chain 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 39, and 40. I'm going to skip 20 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 single crochet in the next stitch, and the final stitches, a total of 20 single crochet stitches to the end of this round. Slip stitch to the first stitch, and for our next round we're going to work a single crochet in every stitch as well as every chain that we made in that previous round. So go ahead and chain 1, single crochet in the first 20 stitches. And when we get to the chains, we're just going to work a single crochet in those chains. I'm going to work those single crochets in the back bump of the chain that I made. So you're going to roll that over and just work into those back bumps. You don't have to. I just like how that looks better. And just continue on around. Working a single crochet in every stitch and in every chain. So at the end of this round, you're going to end up with 160 single crochet stitches. So once we finish that round of single crochet, we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch. And you can see here, I've completed that first round of single crochet around the straps, around the bag. And we're just going to continue that for 5 more rounds, working a single crochet in every stitch around for 5 more rounds. And when you're complete with your rounds, your straps are going to look like this, as well as the sides of your bag. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to get notified whenever I post a new video. You can find this free pattern written on the Underground Crafter website as part of a collaboration with Underground Crafter, and I have a link below in the description for you if you would like to head over to that free written pattern. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. You can find me on social media platforms on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. And I love to hear from people who make my patterns. You can reach out to me on any of those social media platforms, as well as emailing me at nanascraftyhome@gmail.com. And of course, you can find a lot of other free patterns on my website at nanascraftyhome.com. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.